So another day of Euroleague action, and we have learned absolutely nothing. That's right, 7 games today. And after Partizan qualified yesterday with their big trouncing, 30 points, might I add, over Lietuvos Ritas, Maccabi, they got in with some help. Who else am I looking at? BC Kimki. They got in with some help. But BC Kimki decided to, you know what? Still got a game to play. Might as well prove we deserve in the playoffs. So they kick it off this morning playing Armani James Milano. They end up winning 79-63. I could throw some stats at you. You know, Keith Langford dropped 18. The real reason they lost? Morris Finley. AJ Milano cut the dreads off. And it looked dreadful. No hair, no life, no energy. You know what you get? Your lowest ranking of the season, Mo Finley. Settle. Nothing for you, Mo Finley. That's what you get for cutting the dreads. It was the life of the team, and you killed the energy. You killed it. I'm very disappointed in you. Good news, they're still tied with Seco Pro Com at 3-6. Still a chance next week. I don't know if your hair can grow back in 6 days, but you better try to figure that one out, buddy. The next game is Zalgiris Sabona. Zalgiris sitting at 1-7. And who they play? Sabona, 2-6. Zalgiris still has a chance at the playoffs at 1-7 if they win this game. They go out at home with the new coach, Ramunas Butautis, and they do just that. Marcus Brown, the all-time EuroLeague leading scorer, added to his total, dropping 20 points in 30 minutes. Good for you, Marcus. He led the team. You know, there's some youngsters on there, Marty Potzis and whatnot. They do what they can, but when it comes down to it, Marcus Brown's got to play big, and so does Travis Watson. Travis Watson did so for 21 minutes, but at the end of the game, right when it got in hand, you wish he was out of there, but he was not. He was in. He hurt his ankle. Yesterday, Alex March goes down. Today, Travis Watson goes down. Both their teams win. They're happy, but again, it's that double-edged sword thing. So Partizan wins. Zalgiris wins. But March and Watson, key members of their team, is an understatement. They're hurt. We got to keep tabs on that. Watson had to be helped off the court, so it was not looking too good. But to happier news for Olympiacos, they win in overtime over Efes Pilsen in the game of the day, 85-93. Efes Pilsen got down about, I believe it was 7 with just over a minute left, and they come back and they tie it up. Karem Twincherry, who I've been giving a rough time all year, really stepped it up in the fourth quarter, played well, dished it out. And I know he was not the statistical MVP, and his team lost, but Charles Smith came out and played himself a dandy of a game. Charles Smith ended up with 18 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 4 steals, 2 assists, 5 boards. Whenever he needed a bucket, Charles Smith was there to give it to Efes Pilsen. Now, I was coming into the season thinking Efes had a shot at the Final Four. I even picked them to go that far, based on Rakocevic and Nakbar, the top duo, maybe, in all of the EuroLeague if they played their cards right. You got a league-leading scorer last year in Rakocevic, a former NBAer who's very versatile, can play the 3 and the 4 in Boki Nakbar. You know what? Nakbar ended up playing, 9 minutes. And Rakocevic, 13 minutes for a whopping, get this, 2 points. So that's my dynamic duo that I so wisely chose, combining to get 4 points in 22 minutes. Wow, for a combined ranking of 1. So, Nakbar, Rakocevic, if they're not going to play well, then frankly, I don't know if Efes Pilsen deserves to go farther. Their other guys stepped up. Kaya Pecker was playing big. He fouled out. Mario Kassoun picked up the slack. He played well. 9-point quarter from Preston Shumpert, in a good mood after Syracuse's big win over Iowa State last night, no doubt. Memphis, excuse me. He was in a good mood. He balled. Bootsy Thornton had himself a pretty good game. Solid, if nothing else. But their 2 big guns did not step it up. Who did step it up? Sorry, I got a cold. Bear with me. It's snowing in Atlanta. This never happens. Not used to it. Where was I? Oh, yes, Milos Teodosic. A ranking of 34 that qualifies him for the co-MVP along with Maccabi's Chuck Eidson, and he looked astonishingly good. Scooney Pinn jumps on, doesn't steal any of his minutes. Why? Because Theo Papaloukas is out. Von Wafer, bye-bye, long gone. So Teodosic steps up, 17 points for a 34 ranking, along with 12 assists, a Papaloukas-esque 12 assists, 3 steals. Great game for Teodosic. He was looking real good. When they needed a big shot, he had the Charles Smith syndrome. He knocked him down also. Speaking of that co-MVP, Chuck Eidson. Maccabi Electra went out. It was close. Lodomatica pulled it almost even at halftime. They were down 2 at the half. But in the end, Maccabi Electra was too much. Ended up winning 79-59. And Allen Anderson was a little bit quiet in this, but he does that. He peaks and he valleys. They need Eidson to be their rock. He was just that today. He dropped 23 points in the win. The next highest guy on the team had 15, Blumenthal. Good to see him shooting well, hit 3 threes. If he starts playing well with these other big guys that have their, their three-headed carousel of weeks, talking about Lasme, Fisher, and Lampe. Seems like 1.5 of them has a good week every week. If they can supplement Blumenthal to that already semi-ferocious threesome, it's going to be quite a foursome. That's what she said. Next, we had Asvel Basket versus Regal Barcelona. And we're just going to go ahead and skip that because I think we all knew that what happened there, 90-64. If you're interested in the final scores or massacres, that's cool. And we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Barcelonians with rankings of double digits. So Rubio had 17 ranking with his 9 points and 7 assists. And then the highest on the team was Terrence Morris. Good to see him doing well. Haven't heard his name too much recently, but he just pretty much scattered the stat sheet, as did many of these guys. So really, you can't take a night off against them. They're too deep. Pasquale has them ready to play, along with a fat-ass contract that he just locked up. And for good reason, this team can ball. The last two of the day. First, a very disappointing one. Didn't believe the score, actually. When I saw it, I was watching the game, then stopped. Unicaja, 72. Entente Orleans, 88. 16-point loss at home for Unicaja, who started the season 5-0 in the Euroleague. Taekwon Dean had an off-day shooting. Omar Cook wasn't really putting in the bucket. He just came off a 35-point performance in the ACB. He only had 3 today. Did have 11 assists, so obviously not his fault. But no one's really stepping up for Unicaja and for Orleans, who won the fourth quarter 32-15. It was Cedric Banks hitting 5 threes, and it was Justin Dolman hitting a couple threes. 23 and 18 for those two. Shot their ways back in it. And also the youngsters, the whippersnapper. Check out Slam Online next week. He might have to be my whippersnapper of the week. Ludovic Vati on a bunch of draft boards. This is going to help him stay there. He had 12 points in 18 minutes and also threw in 7 rebounds for good measure. He was all over the place. Strong, active, long. That's what Orleans has needed all season. He hasn't quite been there, but he's young. What can you expect? So 2 wins in a row for Orleans. Crazy, crazy world. Like I said, it's snowing in Atlanta, so kind of a Twilight Zone-esque day for us. The last game, the game of the week, 1A. The Efes Olympiacos game, all the implications were huge. But in the final game in, I'm going to mispronounce it, Tivoli Arena, I believe it's the final game being played there in Ljubljana. Union Olympia fought valiantly. They got to overtime with CSKA Moscow, who came into the game on a 5-game winning streak, plus adding Courtney Sims to the mix after letting Ivan Rodinovic go. And Union Olympia could not get it done. But having watched all their games this season, this is the best they've played from a point A to point Z standpoint. The best game they've played as a team. 20 rankings for both Matt Walsh and Sani Basirovic. They have not had that kind of balance all season, and it was really a shame to see them go down. But what it came down to at the end was CSKA just had too much firepower, too much depth. Sasha Khan fouls out. But what a great time to have Courtney Sims there. He picked up some slack. Sokolov came back, did not play well. Again, great move adding Courtney Sims to the mix. But what it came down to was Victor Kriapa had a good all-around game, ended up with 14 boards. And then, of course, Trajan Langdon came through when it counted. 20 points on the week. And that's all there is. We will see y'all next week.